Hi everybody, this is Dr. Sridhar Vennamaneni at Prathima Hospitals in Kukatpally. Today I just want to educate you on importance of looking at the nutrition facts, especially carbohydrates, when you buy any ready-made drinks outside in any grocery store or when you go to the mall. So this will be mostly focused on carbohydrates because all these ready-made drinks have a lot of carbohydrates added. So what are carbohydrates? So everything that we eat has a lot of carbohydrates, which are basically sugar molecules. So our body normally needs glucose, which is sugar, for a lot of activities. Our brain needs sugar on a day-to-day basis. Our muscles, our different organs need sugar. But when you have excessive sugar, that sugar turns into fat, and which in turn can increase the risk of heart disease, cancers, arthritis, and other problems with weight gain. Sodas that are ready-made, like your Thumbs Up, your Sprite, Coke, or your fruit drinks, whether it is Maaza or mixed fruit drinks, even your some of the sports drinks, and then your if you go to Starbucks and have cafe latte and stuff like that, there's a lot of sugar added along with fat added, cream and other fatty substances. So you have to be extremely careful when you buy these ready-made drinks. So I'll educate you on what to look for and how to calculate the amount of sugar added. Now, typically, a lot of people don't realize that I'm going to just give you an example. This is a small bottle of Thumbs Up. This is really small bottle. It has about 250 ml. Now, this small bottle has close to 30 grams of carbohydrates. So, which means 4 grams of carbohydrates equals 1 teaspoon of sugar. So, this small bottle has close to 8 teaspoons of sugar added in there. So, the way to calculate is you always look at on the back there is a portion called the nutrition facts, and you have to look at the carbohydrates and also look at the serving, because a lot of times these companies, they'll try to fool you and they never will say how much total carbs are in the bottle. They'll always say for 100 ml this is the amount of carbs. So they try to confuse you, and as a layman it's very difficult for you to understand what does that mean. So what they're trying to say is that for 1/3 or half a bottle, this is the amount of carbs they have. So they try to confuse you. So you always have to look at how much carbs and what is the serving, because this bottle is 250 ml serving. But when they put here, they'll only say for 100 ml, you have about 12.2 grams of carbs. So you have to calculate for 100 ml, it's 12.2. For 200 ml, it's 24. And you add another 6 for 50 ml. So you're looking at close to 30 grams of carbs. And the way to calculate the amount of teaspoons of sugar is you look at the total number of carbs and you divide it by 4. That equals the number of teaspoons. So here, if you have close to around 30 to 32 grams of carbs, so you divide that by 4. So that equals to 8 teaspoons of sugar in one small bottle. And frankly, how much carbs do we need on a day-to-day basis? If you're somebody who's not doing a lot of exercise, you probably need, close to maximum about 150 grams of carbohydrates per day. Now, this bottle itself has, almost 30 grams or 32 grams. So it's almost like, 1/3 or 1/4 of your daily carbohydrates is already in this. So you need to, stay away from these kind of drinks. I'll go through a bunch of other pictures to educate you on how to look at, and so you have an idea what to avoid. This is again a Sprite bottle. I'm looking at, these are really small bottles. Now, if you were to go to a fast food chain, a McDonald's or Burger King or any of the ready-made restaurants, they do serve much higher, bigger servings. You'll have a big glass which is much more than this. And if you were to consume the whole thing, you're looking at almost 40 to 50 grams of carbs. It's like 10 to 12 teaspoons of sugar that is being consumed, and which is not good for you long term. So this is a picture of one of the common juices that everybody consumes. I've been to multiple department stores and I see a lot of people buying this brand. And if you look at the nutrition facts here, so if you look at the serving size, for 100 ml, it has about 13 grams of carbs. And most people, if you have a glass of, like a cup of typical glass that we consume, has about close to 240 ml. So that's, if you were to go home and drink a glass of this juice, you're basically getting close to almost 28 to 30 grams of carbs, because this is 13 grams per 100 ml. So if you were to drink, let's say, double this, so you're getting close to 25 grams. So 25 grams, you divide by 4. So it's approximately 6 teaspoons of sugar for one small cup of this juice. So, and all that added sugar is extremely dangerous. The best way to get sugar is through natural, like your fruits and vegetables. So all kinds of fruits, there is carbohydrates in them, but it's a natural sugar which is good for you. Now if I go to the next picture, this is about the Maaza drink that everybody loves. Now if you look at this drink, for 100 ml you have about 15 to 15.8 grams, so almost 16 grams of carbohydrates. And you can see now the carbohydrates, like I said, are sugar molecules. Now if you see here, some of the sugar molecules is present in fruit already. Now in this Maaza drink you see a lot of added sugar, almost 13.3 grams for 100 ml. So in addition to natural sugar, there's also added sugar. So total sugar is around 15 and total carbs is around 16. So this is per 100 ml. So if you were to drink a cup, you're looking at 32 grams or even more, which is more than 8 teaspoons of sugar in there. So every time you buy, you have to look at the total carbohydrates. What's the amount of carbohydrates and what is the serving? Because you want this, the least amount per serving. You want this like less than ideally around 7 to 8. Less than 10 is probably is okay, but the lower the better. Maybe 5 to 6 is better. Now this is like a slide, picture showing thumbs up has approximately, for 100 ml you're looking at about close to 10 grams. So for 250 ml you're looking at around almost 25 grams, so around 6 teaspoons of sugar. So a lot of sugar for even a small bottle has tons of sugar added, and you want to avoid that. Now a lot of you also now this is about sports drinks. Now if you were to have something like Gatorade, these are much better than other drinks because they have less carbohydrates. You can see here for 100 ml you have about 6 grams, which is much less. So this is like a 1.5 teaspoon of sugar in one small 100 ml, which is better than the Sprite or the Thumbs Up. So typically sports drinks are recommended for people who do a lot of exercise or people who have high fever and we are concerned about dehydration, or people with gastroenteritis, diarrhea, vomiting. This is one of the things you can drink. Now this is orange juice, which a lot of people consume. Has 1 cup has about 26 grams, which is equivalent to almost 6.5 teaspoons of sugar. So instead of having a juice, I would suggest that you eat a fruit. Just eat the fruit yourself, and especially ready-made juices where you're buying from a store. There's a lot of sugar added. You can see here 21 grams. That's like almost 5 teaspoons of sugar added to the small cup, in addition to the carbohydrates that the fruit already has. So always go for fresh juice that you can do at home, or if somebody's doing a juice in front of you, anything without any sugar added is fine. But fruits are always better any day because you're getting fiber, and that fills you up and your sugars don't go up quickly. Now if you go to this is about ORS, which we recommend again for patients who are sick with diarrhea and vomiting or high fevers. You can see in one of these small packets, you can see it has about 13 grams, which is equal to about 4 teaspoons of 4.5 teaspoons of sugar. So we do recommend this ORS because when you're sick and dehydrated, you do need some carbohydrates. So you can see it has about one of these packets has about 14 grams. Now if you go to a lot of people go to Starbucks and have these lattes with cream and stuff. You can see the nutrition facts here. 1 glass of that has about 32 grams of carbohydrates. That's equivalent to 8 teaspoons of sugar, and tons of fat. You can see saturated fat. All these are like a lot of fat. So you want to limit them as much as possible. If you were to go to Starbucks, you can have just a regular coffee with some low-fat milk or black coffee. Those are things that I would suggest, or some specialized tea. But stay away from these high lattes and a lot of cream sweet drinks with a lot of cream added on top of that. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you is about alcohol. I mean, obviously, I always say that Telangana is #1 in alcohol consumption, and here you can see different brands. Now, in alcohol, if you see a light beer, a small, like a can of light beer, has 103 calories. That equals about 6 teaspoons of sugar in there. So now, in beers, typically you don't have sugar added, but you have carbohydrates, carbs, and that's natural sugar that's present in wheat and wheat from where all these alcoholic drinks are made from. So there is, you can see, a regular beer has 153 calories, and the way to look at how much carbs does it have is we divide this 153 by 4. That will give you the number of carbs in there, and you divide that by 4 equals the number of sugar, teaspoons of sugar in there. So, but I don't want to confuse you too much, but just see that there's a lot of carbs. As the amount of the stronger the beer is, the amount of calories goes up, which means the amount of carbs goes up. Now, the same thing as you go down, if you look at a lot of people consume whiskey here, and you can see whiskey 45 ml has 97 grams of calories. The stronger whiskey has 116. Now, if you look at the coffee, liquor, and anything with too much fat in them, they have more sugar added, so you can see more calories. And then if you have drinks, ready-made drinks like margarita and Bloody Mary, they have even extra sugar added because there's a lot of drinks, artificial drinks added with sugar in there. So you need to be aware that all these things that you consume, anything that goes into your stomach that you're drinking, has tons of calories and carbs. On this last page, which says think before you drink, the best thing to drink always is water. Always water has 0 calories and has great benefits. The other thing I would suggest is drinking flavored water. What you can do is at home, you can just take a big container, throw in some slice of some orange, you can throw in some slice of cucumber, you can throw in, if you like mint, you can throw a few twigs of mint, or you can throw in some lemon slices. All that will flavor the water, and especially if you like cold water, you can put it in the fridge, and that's one way to drink a lot of fresh water, which tastes wonderful, instead of consuming all these artificial drinks. And studies clearly show that the more carbohydrates and more sugary drinks we have, the higher risk of cancers, higher risk of heart disease, higher risk of memory problems, and higher risk of arthritis and other problems. So in conclusion, I just want to reaffirm the importance of watching your carbohydrates, especially ready-made drinks when you buy outside, because studies clearly show that the more carbohydrates we have, especially added sugars, whether you have them in your drinks or whether you have too much sweets or cakes or cookies, all this extra sugar and carbohydrates is extremely dangerous and can increase your risk of not only heart disease and cancers, but also your risk of dementia, risk of arthritis, and increased autoimmune conditions increases. Thank you.